All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Card Talk. I'm Ryan, joined as always by Tyler and Lou. We have a lot to get into on today's episode, including another flawless Logoman. We're going to talk about that and what that means for the hobby once again, a year after the LeBron triple Logoman and the sale there. Big sales coming up in the collectibles game with the Jordan Flu Game sneakers being sold on Goldin. We've got a Bill Russell rookie that sells for $660,000. We've got Q&A from Instagram. We'll get into that. We're going to talk NHL and NBA playoffs as those are even closer to completion now. So we'll get into all of that here very, very soon. But first, we'll start with what's on your mind. Ty's here. He looks focused. If you're not watching, he looks focused. He looks ready to go. It's a Monday. We're recording a little early this week, a little earlier than normal. So we'll start with Ty, who looks locked in on a Monday.
I was really hoping that there was going to be Game 7 to watch tonight. I'm sad that the Knicks bowed out. But all in all, successful season. Learned a lot about the squad. Got to retool, retinker, come back strong next year. Jayson Tatum, hats off. Good performance.
Are we trading Julius Randle?
I've been a hater. Probably shipping him if there's anyone that wants him at this point. But just blasphemy. PJ Championship coming up this weekend. Excited for that. A little quick turnaround on the majors season for the golf.
Hey, shout out real quick, Ty, little golf plug. Shout out to Jason Day, Westerville, Ohio native, for the first win in 5 years on the tour on Mother's Day, who recently lost his mom last year. I was reading an article on him this morning. Westerville guy. That's about 30 minutes from the shop. So shout out to Jason Day, man, on the
Jason
win.
Day's an Ohio guy. I didn't know that.
Sure is.
Oh, interesting. All right. It's a good shout. J Day. Nice win for him this weekend. Overall good weekend. I was out at the LPGA tournament, saw a little live action LPGA. The way that they swing that club is different. Tempo. Hockey, sad to hear about. Definitely sad to hear about our boy McDavid bowing out last night. That was kind of my last remaining interest, but I'll catch a couple of Stanley Cup games here or there maybe. LeBron pushing forward. Still haven't watched the Goldin show. I was looking at some V friends compete and collect cards and Series 1, Zero Cool, Series 2 stuff ahead of VCon this weekend, which I'm excited for. That's really the main thing that's on my mind is VCon, gearing up, flying out Wednesday night. We'll be there through Sunday, taking on Indy, Lucas Oil Stadium. Unfortunately, I've never gotten there for the Big Ten Championship, so I will be there for VCon. Although we have played and won in that stadium. That's Penn State football I'm referencing, which, by the way, Linda Yaccarino, who's the new CEO of Twitter, is a big Penn State football fan. So I'm hoping that.
Did she go to Penn State?
I guess. I imagine
I
so.
saw that too. I was like, why is just randomly Penn State football?
Yeah, it's the only thing that was tagged in her bio, which is pretty sweet. But yeah, my fandom is turning attention to Penn State men's lacrosse. That had a nice win over Princeton last night. Penn State lacrosse is going into the Elite Eight. They're playing Army next weekend after Army upset Maryland, so a little easy path created. We'll take that. But there's a lot of good teams out there. College lacrosse playoffs.
Linda Yaccarino did go to Penn State, by the way. Just checked. A little fact check.
Notable Penn State alum. How about this one? I think she went from like 8,000 in Twitter followers to like, is she at 400? She's north of
404,000.
Yeah. She went from like 8. I think she had 8,000 when it first came out that it might be her to 400,000 in like 5 days. Those are the things that are on my mind.
Locked in on a Monday.
Yeah.
Lacrosse Final Four, sneaky one of my favorite things to watch on ESPN2 on that random Saturday where it comes up.
A little Saturday Memorial Day. It's always nice. It's always nice. Definitely.
Always on ESPN2, no matter what. I don't know who those announcers are, but I know their voices when I hear them. It's the best.
Yep.
Lou, what's on your mind?
So I'm going to go NBA playoffs as well. I think a conversation that I've had with my friends often is Jaylen Brown versus Jayson Tatum. And I think like it seems round to round, year to year, game to game, people flip flop between those two guys and who would you rather own. So I kind of wanted to put that out to you two and see what you were thinking. I would imagine, I haven't looked it up, but I would imagine price wise, Tatum is probably a lot higher than Jaylen Brown, but I kind of think I like Jaylen Brown better as a player overall. Yeah. So I just wanted to put that out there for you guys and we can kind of bat it around a little bit.
Yeah,
You like Brown better than Tatum?
I think I like Jaylen Brown better. I think I like his energy more.
How many guys have 50 points or more in a game 7 all time?
Is that a trick question?
Probably not a lot based on you bringing that up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's one.
Yeah, that's the guy I'd rather have. 51 points in game 7. Couldn't miss. Lights out. Jayson Tatum. Jayson Tatum is 1A. I mean, he's the top guy of them. Jaylen Brown is really good. He's a great 2. And I think the thing that Tatum is... I think the difference with Tatum at the moment is like he does have that streakiness in him. I mean, game 6, I mean, my man had 2 points going into the fourth quarter.
That's the point. He kind of does that a lot. And
then dropped 16 in the fourth. I think it was 16 points. And it was the reason they won that game at the end. Like dude was on fire. But then came out in game 7 and I think that's definitely the biggest knock on him is the streakiness. But Tatum's a top 10 basketball player in the NBA.
He's a beast. Top 10 player. He's first team All NBA. I talk a lot of crap about him. And if I'm going to turn the corner, feels like you might need to as well, though.
I'm not hating on Jayson Tatum. Let's make that very clear. I'm just saying I like Jaylen Brown a lot. And I think I like his energy as an alpha dog as opposed to a Jayson Tatum.
If the Knicks could pick up either one, who would you like? And you're telling me taking Jaylen Brown?
I don't really care what happens to the Knicks, but yeah.
Huh. Wow.
Not negatively or positively. I happened to enjoy their little run they had. It was good.
Yeah, interesting.
Thanks, man.
Lou, anything else in your mind?
No, I mean, I'm moving this week, so I've been pulling a lot of random cards out. I happen to put all of my loose cards into 3 800 count boxes, so I'm going to have to do some work here and get rid of some of these cards because it's getting a little ridiculous.
3 800 count boxes? 3 of them.
Yep. Full.
Oh my God, you got
it's a problem.
You got to do some work. You think that's a lot?
It's a real problem.
Saying Ryan's saying that's like
brother,
Ryan was a different life.
I got 2 boxes right here that are 3,200 counts.
All right, well, you live a different life than me. I'm a normal human in the world. Wasn't anticipating having.
You said a normal
2,400 cards just lying around.
Lou, where are you moving to?
A different part of New Jersey, the best state in the union, Bergen County. Wonderful place to live. Wonderful place to raise a family. Hope everyone will join me there.
Nice.
Hoping to move out closer to Tyler's neck of the woods as time goes on. We'll see what happens.
Love to hear it.
I thought it was funny. 800 counts. I got 3 of these things. I got to start doing some work.
Jersey
literally your job.
Ohio.
Yeah, I thought it was just interesting, though, real quick, kind of like a side note before I go into what's on my mind. I just thought it was interesting as a Georgia fan. You wouldn't mention the fact that Georgia just signed the #1 recruit in all of 2024 after they took him from Ohio State. Sometimes I always question that Georgia fandom. It's like, how real is it really actually?
Yeah, well, given that it's May 15th and I'm the back-to-back champion, I don't like to worry too much about recruiting classes. And also, this is a national show. Not everyone cares about Georgia football and Ohio State's trash-ass program. But yeah, if you want to talk about it, #1 recruit decided to leave Ohio State because he saw just a better opportunity at the University of Georgia, which makes him a smart kid and a winner. So I'm looking forward to seeing him on campus.
Yeah, speaking of smart kid and a winner, I heard there's reports going around that Stetson Bennett's been in college since 2017 and actually never graduated. So let's talk all about Georgia quarterbacks, smart kids, and winners.
What's the Ohio State education level?
I mean, super high.
Can't be that high.
I also thought you guys made a off episode agreement that we weren't going to discuss that, and you just walked yourself into your own buzzsaw.
Correct. I was trying to be a nice guy and just move on because it's May and no one cares.
We had to bring it up. I mean, Ohio State football is 24/7, so certainly disappointed.
24/7 to finish second in the Big Ten.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't hit goals the last couple of years for sure. Like, we have work to do.
At what point do your goals reset?
They don't ever reset.
Sounds like a Yankee fan.
Yeah. Yeah. Do your goals reset?
I'm a champion.
Yeah. You just happen to jump right before they start winning.
It's not my fault that I got family who enrolls in the school. What do you want me to do?
That has nothing to do with who you choose to root for. I mean, that's
Of course it
ridiculous.
does.
That's ridiculous. Anyways, what's on my mind? That was disappointing. The NBA playoffs, I saw Game 7, got to watch Tatum. That was awesome. It was close in the first half, and man, they took over. NHL playoffs, Ty mentioned it, but the fact that we're not going to see McDavid play for another cup, play for a cup. I mean, I think this was year 8 for McDavid. He's going to win, I think, his 4th MVP trophy this year. Again, just smashing records. Like he's just so good, and just nothing to show for him. I saw Slab Sox put a poll out, and it just makes me wonder, like, how much it will affect his cards long term if he doesn't win. Right, that was always the knock on Ovi, was he needs to win. Ovi's going to beat the goal record for Gretzky at some point, you would assume. McDavid's got a lot of records. He's got a great teammate. That's the argument with Trout, really, right? Is Trout's been one of the best baseball players for half a decade plus, and they're not playing meaningful games. Like we joked about it a few months ago, Lou, when it was like the World Baseball Classic, and it said Ohtani, Trout, best players in the world.
That was the biggest moment of Mike Trout's career.
Facing off in the World Baseball Classic. Could you imagine if these two were on the same team? And they're on the same team, and they're going to go 3 for 5. They're each going to go 3 for 5. Ohtani's going to strike out 9, and they're going to lose 6-2. Like they're just. That's the argument, and that's what I wonder is. I've got some cool McDavid stuff. I like McDavid. I mean, he's dominant. But how much will winning affect his cards long term? Like another year, no cup appearance. Yeah, sucks. And I saw a stat this morning that said no Canadian team has won the cup since '93. Be another year, no Canadian team wins the cup.
I feel like they need to start little frozen envelope, little questionable calls. Like, just get the cup back to Canada. I feel like that's the right move for everyone involved.
Wasn't there a conspiracy around the draft that just happened?
With Chicago, yeah.
Yeah. Original 6 is more important than Canada at large.
Yeah, but Montreal was in there too. They could have given it to Montreal.
Yeah, but Chicago just lost their star. Blackhawks matter.
Yeah, it was a great story for sure. You're not wrong there.
Did you see the thing that there
so
was?
My point was they're already doing the frozen envelope. They're just.
But I
not
want it for
doing
Canada.
He said, "I want it for Canada."
I do. Did you see the story that came out where they were like, "Oh no, actually, the star means that they jumped a spot," like the fake news they were putting out about that?
Is that how that was the cover up?
That was the rationalization. Like, oh no, actually, it means that if you jump a spot, you get a star next to you. It's like, well, that seems convenient.
Interesting.
Speaking of, Lou, I know you and I talked to before Ty got here, before we started recording. Connor Bedard, the likely number 1 pick. A lot of hype on him already. We can get into that in another episode unless you have something you want to talk about right this second. But my thought was NHL draft was last week, or what was it last week? Yeah.
The lottery was last week.
Lottery was last week. The lottery for the NBA draft is tomorrow night. It will happen. Yeah, it's at 8:00 tomorrow. It'll happen before Card Talk comes out. 8 p.m.
So
tomorrow.
if you're hearing this, we know who won the lottery. The winner was.
We do not know who won the lottery.
The winner was Orlando. Orlando won the lottery.
It's Monday night at 5:17, and we have no idea who won the lottery. Who do you think's going to win the lottery? Who's got the best odds, Orlando?
Detroit, Houston, and San Antonio are all tied.
Where does the NBA want him to go on that list?
I would think Houston.
I don't know. Detroit's kind of coming back as a city. Feels like Motor City. Feels like Detroit's hot.
Yeah, but if Houston gets Harden and they got Harden and Wemby, that's kind of fire.
And Jabari Smith.
Harden.
What do you mean Harden? I get it. Like, he's a loser, but
he just played himself out of relevancy.
I don't know if he played himself
What
out
about
of
Charlotte at 4 with LaMelo?
Yeah.
LaMelo's still in the league? That was a joke.
That was your guy, right?
What?
He barely.
You just have a plethora. What you got a mini fridge in that room? Like, you going Propel to Gator Light? Like, what do you got? And it's all lemon lime flavored.
Yeah, I'm prepared for Card Talk.
He's got to stay hydrated. Needs his electrolytes.
Have you seen some of the plays Jay gives me to read? They're like this long. I mean, it gotta be quenched. Is that what this is for? Like quench your thirst? No free ads, but still. All right, real quick. NBA draft lottery team odds for number 1 pick. Lou kind of mentioned it earlier, but the top 3 share 14% odds with Pistons, Rockets, Spurs. I said LaMelo because they're 4th best odds. The Hornets at 12.5. Portland at 10.5 is 5th. Magic, Pacers, Wizards, Jazz, Mavericks have a 3% odds. Luka and Victor, that would be crazy. Oklahoma City, who has had a million number 1 picks or a million first round lottery picks and still has a million, has 12. Raptors and Pelicans. Pelicans have the worst odds at 0.5%. Real quick, Portland at 5, 10.5. Would that keep Damian Lillard happy in Portland if they get Wemby?
I think
so. You would think them getting the most hype prospect in 25 years or whatever it is coming into their city would make him want to stay. But I also heard that
huge.
But there's also the rumor that
otherwise he's going to go to the Knicks.
What about Philly?
No, he's coming to New York.
Me too.
Screw every team. New York's hot. It's a hot destination now. It's a landing spot.
Would you take Embiid in New York?
Probably. I mean, he is.
Would you trade RJ for Embiid?
Yeah.
Yes.
Would you trade RJ and quickly and picks?
Yep.
Okay.
He is the MVP. It's Brunson.
That's a ridiculous thing, though, that they gave him MVP. That man disappeared in Game 7. Like, I saw a stat the other day that said, like, Embiid had, like, 15 points the entire game. Jokic had 16 points in the first quarter. The fact that they gave it to Embiid, I'm still, like, dumbfounded. Jokic is the clear MVP. I think that's ridiculous they gave it to him. I get it. It's probably a little, like, hey, we're tired of giving it to these two guys. Giannis and Jokic had won the last 4 back-to-back each. To me, it's like, yep, it should have been Jokic again.
What's going to be cool is that all these guys have to play more games next year to be eligible for a lot of these awards.
Yeah, they're changing.
I think 4 of the 5 first-team All-NBA guys didn't play enough games to be
Speaking of All-NBA guys,
All-NBA next year.
Speaking of All-NBA guys, Flawless Basketball drops this week.
Wow, what a transition.
There's some All-NBA guys on one particular card or multiple particular cards. Mm-hmm. Panini has Flawless Basketball dropping this week with 5 different triple Logoman.
I wonder what inspired them to do that.
5 triple Logoman. The big one, the big chase, like we hinted in the start of the show, is going to be the number 2 out of 5. It'll be Steph Curry, LeBron James, Luka Doncic. I saw Panini dropped a little preview about it, showed the video of it, went all over social. I'm sure you guys have seen it by now. Very, very cool card. Has 75th anniversary logo, man. There's also a couple other cool ones. There'll be a rookie triple game used logo, man, of Evan Mobley, Scotty Barnes, and Cade Cunningham. Mm-hmm. There will be Jalen Green, Vince Carter, Zach LaVine. This one I think is honestly probably one of my favorite. Jokic, Giannis, Embiid. 1 of 1 triple logo, man. I think that's
really a good one.
But probably my favorite for satirical reasons. Listen to this. You guys ready for this triple logo, man?
I think I saw this one. It's ridiculous.
This is for the Brooklyn Nets. It's Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and Kevin Durant. Neither of the 3 happen to play in Brooklyn anymore.
Tough beat.
Are they? They're logo man, right? So there's no like association to the Nets. Will they be in Nets jerseys in the photo?
Yeah, it's a Nets card. So. This is 21-22 Flawless Basketball. So this isn't this year's class with Paolo and Chet and Benedict and Murray and all those guys. This is the year before when those guys were Nets.
Ain't that something?
I don't even know why they put out that card.
There's also some dual logo, man. There's 12 on the checklist. Barnes and LaMelo. Josh Giddey and Shea has the dual logo, man. 101. LeBron and Carmelo logo, man. Lillard, Donovan Mitchell. John Morant, Steph Curry. We'll get into that in just a second. Jalen Green, Cade, Moses Moody, Kuminga. Chris Paul, Devin Booker. Durant, Kyrie. Another Nets one. Embiid, Harden, Giannis Embiid, and Luka LeBron. So not only is there the Curry, Luka, LeBron, there's also a LeBron, Luka dual logo, man. So, but I mentioned it. Speaking of Ja Morant, a wild weekend once again for Ja Morant, who was once again seen with a gun on an Instagram live video
Allegedly.
in a car. Allegedly. Seems to be more true than not true, but we can't confirm nor deny.
Alleged. It's all alleged.
But pretty tough weekend, I would imagine, for not only Ja Morant and his PR team, but also Ja Morant card collectors. I asked a poll on Instagram. I was sharing this with Jay and Lou before we started, Ty. But I asked my Instagram followers, said, who would you rather have for 5 years? You have to have money on one guy for cards. Who are you putting money in, Ja Morant or Zion Williamson?
Sheesh.
And nearly 2-1, almost 2-1, said Zion Williamson. Said you would rather have money in Zion for the next 5 years than Ja Morant.
I think it is partially skewed because of it's in the moment of all this.
Sure.
And it's like, what's like better not seen than seen or whatever. I don't know. I feel like there's some saying there. There's, we don't need to go into all the antics of it all, but yeah, definitely impacting from a collectability standpoint. But sometimes holding is the right play, and there's a world where 2-3 years from now, it's all forgotten.
You would hope.
Yeah,
I wouldn't go near either guy with a 10-foot pole. I'll say that. Not interested.
It's kind of crazy that we started Card Talk and those guys were a really, really big deal back when we started. 1920 basketball was the biggest thing in a while. Ja, right? Rookie of the year. You're like, man, these guys are going to be special. We saw what Zion did. Like, there was so much hype around that class. And here we are going into year 5. I mean, we're months away from them starting year 5. Zion is
starting.
Yeah, year 5. 1920,
He's still a
2021,
child.
21, 22, 22, 23, 23, 24, year 5. And
Math time.
Darius Garland, Jordan Poole, and RJ Barrett might be the most desired guys in a class that was so top heavy around Zion and Ja. And it's just crazy that 5 years later,
Who did you say?
I would imagine 3 of the top guys at this point are Jordan Poole, RJ Barrett, and Darius Garland. Tyler Hero's probably pretty close. Rui, I mean, it's doing something with the Lakers. Like, I'm sure there's somebody I'm missing.
Ja is still the best guy.
I mean,
like, are we saying are we taking him off the list because of his antics?
No, I'm talking about guys.
He hasn't been kicked out of the league.
I would rather have money in Darius Garland or Jordan Poole than I would Ja Morant.
I don't think
Jordan. I don't know. Jordan Poole's looking like
that's probably true.
Like more like a Tyler Hero type role player as of late.
Where's Jordan Poole gonna end up?
Also a piece. I don't know. Somewhere he'll be the face of the Charlotte Bobcats or something.
He said the Charlotte Bobcats.
I just the thing with Ja, like, yes, man's clearly needs to talk to somebody again, but
he needs to get some real friends, man.
There was a tweet that was like, I know they're the Hornets. That's why I said the Bobcats. So it tweeted like, man, it makes you respect LeBron and Kobe. They just had
I saw
careers.
They never did anything off the court. Yeah. And the guy said, I think you need to learn history.
Hang on a second.
That's what the guy said.
Like, yeah, Gilbert Arenas too.
Hang on just a second. There's been a couple things in those guys' careers.
That's the point.
That was the point of the tweet.
It's like Kobe, like.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, these guys have just had they just had no issues off the court. And the number one response, which had more likes than the actual tweet, said like, brother, I think you need to learn history.
The guy was trolling. He was trolling. And it's a point. It's just like, look, if the dude plays his ass off and can let that be what people are focused on, he can. I think that there will either be a bounce or there can be value in his cards long term. People are worried because the decision making is just crazy. Like, and it's like, you're whatever riding in a car. I mean, his boy was like threw the phone out the window. Like, why are you doing that?
At least he tried, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's but if Memphis doubles down on him and he comes out and he's first team All NBA next year, like
I don't think they're going to be
quickly.
doubling down.
Yeah, we Jay and I talked about this, and we were talking about this time before you got on. But do you think he'll be suspended? I think he's going to get like half a season. I think he's going to get suspended for a long time.
Right now.
I think he's going to get like real meaningful games. He got 8 the first time. Jay said full season. He got 8 games the first time. He's definitely getting more than 8 games. I bet he gets half a season.
No, there's 5 months until this is a situation again, because he's going to fall off the map now until October when the season comes back. People will forget. He'll get 20 to 25 games and he'll be back.
No, he's getting 40.
Let's not get crazy on RJ being like, he, I know there's a lot of chatter. He's the best of the first 3 picks, yada, yada, yada. He played well in the playoffs. He figured out where to put his elbow. My guy, Drew Hanlon, helped him out. But, like, he's a trade asset for us right now.
Yeah, you're hoping he's on another team come October.
Yeah, someone wants the man. We want a superstar. I like his game. It just baffles me. He's about to go into his 5th year. He looks like a child. Like 5 years from now, he's gonna like be coming into his own, which is a good thing for whoever bets on him.
Well, not if you're gonna pay him $100,000 trillion first.
Speaking of $100,000 gajillion, the flu game sneakers are at auction this time, and they are already at $800,000 with 30 days left. They're running on a monthly auction over at Goldin. So Jay dropped some links in here. Shout out to Jay for pulling this up. Flu game sneakers sold in 2013, 10 years ago, for $100,000. Then they sold in 2020 for $500,000. Now they're up for bids, and they're at $800,000 with 30 days left. That's pretty cool. That's got to be one of the coolest pieces of memorabilia I think I've seen auctioned.
I feel like these type of things don't get up for sale that often. Am I wrong about that? I feel like having 3 sales that we could quickly reference is kind of rare for something like this.
Yeah, I guess that's probably true. Makes you wonder why somebody would sell it 3 times.
Well, clearly they're making money.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
300K is 300K. Like, I don't know.
Another big sale recently. I saw this. This is on ESPN, actually. I think Quarter J dropped this. Bill Russell rookie card goes for $660,000 at auction. It says a 1957 Topps Bill Russell rookie sold for $660 at auction Thursday, setting a record for a card of the Boston Celtics great who died last year. The sale, conducted by PWCC Marketplace, makes the Russell card the 3rd most expensive vintage, which ESPN puts in the article is pre-1980, Ty. We talked about that last week on Card Talk.
Interesting.
They say pre-1980 is vintage. It's the 3rd most expensive vintage basketball card of all time, according to Card Ladder. Shout out to another card company in the sale, in the article. The only other pre-1980 basketball cards that sold for more were a 1948 Bowman George Mikan rookie, which sold for $800 in March of last year, and a 61 Fleer Wilt rookie, which sold for $670,000 in June.
That was a PSA 8, right? The Wilt or something like that?
It doesn't say.
I think it was.
The Russell rookie card was an 8.5. Which is between a mint and a near mint by PSA. Previously held the record for the most expensive card of his when it sold for $630 in March of 2021. There are only 3 copies of the card graded higher, and they have never surfaced for public auction.
Damn.
Always love seeing card news like that end up on like sports places like ESPN. I think that's cool.
It was an 8.5. Oh no, wait. I don't know what I'm looking at here.
Jay said there's 3 9s.
3 9s in the pop. That's crazy. Bill Russell, the person, definitely vintage. Definitely vintage.
Yes. I always see the Sport Kings gum Jim Thorpe card pop up in the Card Ladder recap email. Sport Kings, definitely vintage. Definitely in demand.
For sure.
Big Sport King guy.
Real quick, Jay sent us a text, just some breaking news that Schefter just tweeted. The NFL has announced that Peacock will be the
Breaking news
home.
3 days later for people listening.
Yeah, for the first ever exclusive live streamed NFL playoff game, presenting an NFL Wildcard playoff in prime time on Saturday, January 13th, 2024. What am I missing in this tweet?
That they've never shown a playoff game exclusively on Peacock before.
I think what that's for. I think your question, what are you missing? Like, you're asking why would they exclusively live stream a game?
No, so this is saying that. So it's just so I'm understanding this correctly.
The only place you'll be able to watch is on Peacock.
Wow.
It's the first time a playoff game's ever been exclusively streamed, not on television. That's what the point is.
And why would it not be on TV? Is because they want like the asset to be used to drive subscriptions for the service.
That screams Jets. Saturday night primetime playoff game is primetime, like Jets,
Bills,
Bengals.
But didn't our all of our primetime games? Oh, because Wildcard fair. Yeah.
Yeah, we're the primetime Saturday game.
Yeah.
Unless we're not playing in the Wildcard.
No, you're
That's Jay.
yeah.
That's
You're either
Jay
at
Blue.
home watching. They're either at home watching it on Peacock or they're playing in that game.
Yeah, they're at home watching because they're off. They play the following week. I agree.
No,
Okay.
because they're looking at who they want to draft in 2024 when Caleb Williams is there.
Easy.
Both options are fine by me if you put it that way. If it's Caleb Williams or playing in the second round of the playoffs exclusively, I'll take that. Sign me up.
Yikes! All right, we have some questions this week. Jay said there's Jake, I think you got what 10? A good amount from IG, so I have them right here. Good amount of questions. Shout out to everybody who submitted this week. Real quick, here's a good one to start. I like this one. Peterborough Sports Cards. One thing you like already. It says one thing to add and one thing to remove from card shows. So one thing you like about card shows, one thing you'd want to add to card shows, and one thing you'd want to remove from card shows.
I like I don't know. I like the whole process. Like, I don't know how do you pick one thing?
What do I want to change? I can't go back to my old better snacks answer. That's too.
Yeah,
it's too
That's a pretty
cliche.
good answer. I mean,
one thing I could remove, I would like to upgrade the seating. If you're behind a table, like the metal chair, I'm just over it.
Yeah,
I
one
need
thing
a cushion.
I would say the Wi-Fi. Most Wi-Fi
Yeah.
at most shows is trash.
Problem.
Yeah,
Liability.
better flooring options. So I'm not standing on concrete or walking on concrete too much. Maybe get some like padding, some carpet, something a little nicer.
The tickets might cost more then.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll pay $5.
Yeah, we're talking like 10 or 15. I'll take 15.
I don't know what more options like. I like card shows.
Better lighting.
Yeah, like they're fine the way they are. Is kind of my opinion.
Because anything like I start to think about is like, well, then does it change?
Not
like,
not in Atlantic City.
not in Atlantic City.
Yeah,
Some sort of directory of like tables, but then it's like, okay, do I want to know what cards are on display, or maybe like I don't know, just the things aren't really feasible. Like if there was iPads at every seller and it showed sales that they had made, that'd be cool. So you could see like previous sales of the show, but like just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I like
Should I pick one?
shows. I like them sweaty. I like them hot. I like when my hips hurt. I like walking
No, that
around
sounds-
and chatting with people. I like the camaraderie. I like having to wash my hands later. I like cash exchanges. I like
that first sit down when the day is over. Like when you sit
Yeah,
down.
like when everybody's gone, you just sit down. And you're like,
Love that
and
feeling.
the guy is talking on the intercom. There is 6 minutes and 48 seconds left until the end of this
Please
day.
leave immediately.
Please leave immediately. Do you remember that?
yes,
That
of
was-
course.
What was that? The Nationals? Was that 2021?
Yeah, that was 21.
Yeah.
21.
All right.
Should I pick one?
You can.
Chef Pat, if you were starting your collection all over, what card would you start with and why? I think Ryan should go first.
So how do you want me to answer this?
I want you to answer it by the question is, if you could pick one card to start a collection, what would you choose?
52 Topps Mantle.
Why?
That to me is cards.
It's the card.
Yeah, I think so. I know there's a lot of people that are like real like card gurus that talk a lot about it shouldn't be that. It's the most overhyped card. It should be the 51 Bowman Mantle. To me though, it's 52 Topps Baseball. That to me is the set, the card, like the story, everything about it. Like I love that card. It'd be 52 Topps Mantle. For sure.
It's a good pick. It's hard to argue with that, to be honest.
Yeah, when I got like that's one thing I liked about mine is like I learned a lot about the set when I got it. Like when I picked up the 52 set and like it was like Nashville 2021. There was like 1,300 some graded by PSA. I look at that and I'm like, I think that matters. I would love to have somebody on the show at some point that is like a vintage expert and can tell us about the 52 Topps Baseball set. I think that's such an iconic set. I think it would be a good thing to talk about.
I wonder if we know anyone who could do that.
But like the report that half of them got dropped in the harbor, that the top set was a failure, that the fact that there's, again, I got it 18 months ago, but the fact that there was only 1,300 graded by PSA, it's like, that's a pretty big card to only have that few with like a numerical grade. It's kind of cool. So that would be mine. What would be yours? 137 Ronaldo? Devin Booker, Devin Booker Prison Purple?
Like the answer that there's the first answer that comes to my mind always with this, and I would have a couple answers, but the first answer that always comes to mind is 79 OPG Gretzky.
It's a good choice.
And I've been sitting here trying to think of why Gretzky was so iconic to me. Like, I don't know. I feel like maybe it's just the nickname, the Great One. Like, just growing up, like, I also played. I didn't play a lot of hockey. Like, I played hockey as like a junior and peewee, and then like family-wise, we like watched it a lot, but didn't. I don't know. There was just something about hockey. And
how old were you when Gretzky was a Ranger?
So what year was that? Gretzky Ranger years?
Well, like late 90s, 98, something like that.
96 and 99. I was 7, 8, 9.
Prime.
And he was the Great One. I don't know. So there's something about Gretzky, even though it's always, I think that card's beautiful. Then another one would just be first edition Charizard, but maybe even Blastoise over Charizard, because I was always a blue person and not a red person, just in life, school colors, everything.
Yeah. I randomly found this while going through my stack of cards.
That's nice.
That's really hot.
Jazzed.
So I don't know why, but I think Gretzky just like was the Great One. I feel like for me in that era, like just 7, 8 right there, it was like he was untouchable athlete.
It's a good pick.
Yeah.
So I have this theory that if I would have gotten a big LeBron Bowman Chrome in 2003, I would have never gotten away from cards. So I'm going to choose an X Fractor LeBron Bowman Chrome from his rookie year. I think that would have
ball on the head.
Yeah. And I think that would have set the table for me to stay committed to cards, and who knows what I'd have by now.
It's a pretty good one.
LeBron. Right. What was LeBron like for you?
It's just such a big deal. Like the kid from Akron going to the hometown. Like I was young, so like I don't remember too much about like one of the guys that worked for me, Maury, went to like Kent State. So like would talk about like what it was like when like they would cover LeBron's high school games, and there would be like all sorts of media coverage, and like it would just pack these small gyms. So I've heard a little bit about it from like guys that like lived through it at the time. But I was, young. I was 7, 8, 9, just like kind of like you were, right? I'm a little bit younger. I was born in 92. So like when LeBron's in high school, it was a little bit later. I remember one of my early memories is like when we were, gosh, I'm trying to think of how old I would have been. It would have been the same. I think it was the same year LeBron played in the state high school finals in the Schottenstein Center when the Alder girls, like I went to Jonathan Alder's for high school. There was a girl on our team. God, where did she end up going to college? Lauren. I'm gonna pull this out of my ass right now. Lauren. I think her name's Prohaska. I think that was her last name. She
Mike's
was
cousin?
a star for Jonathan Alder. Lauren Prohaska. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. Holy cow, I found it. She went to Bowling Green. She was a star. She went to like the tournament, and I think it was the same summer LeBron took St. Vincent St. Mary's there. 2000. She got inducted in the Bowling Green Hall of Fame in 2022. Wow. But anyways, like I remember it being a big deal. Like there was a lot of people there. I thought it was the same summer. But then obviously he goes on to play as I got older. Like I was probably 3rd, 4th grade when LeBron was in Cleveland, and then he was there through. I mean, when did he leave for Miami? 8 years later.
2010.
Was it 2010 or 2011? I thought it was 2011.
Whatever.
Yeah, well, I graduated high school in 2011. So right, like almost all of my schooling, LeBron's in Cleveland. So yeah, it was a really, really big deal. Again, he was from that area. Like he was from 40 minutes away, 35 minutes away.
How about cards?
I mean, the card market
Where was it? Where was it for you in cards?
What do you mean?
Like, were you collecting him at all?
I did mostly
into
football.
cards.
I did mostly football. I mean, I remember buying. I sat in a flea market on the east side. The guy that I bought my card shop from in 2019, it was probably 2013, 2014. I bought a 2006 or 2007 exquisite patch out of LeBron James for $250 off this guy at the time. And I was like, I didn't care about, like, again, I wasn't a basketball guy. Sold it like 2 days later for like $500. Again, it's kind of crazy where cards are now, considering that's thousands of dollars for a card. But yeah, LeBron's he's always been a big deal. I didn't buy a bunch of it because, again, it was a lot more expensive when he came out. So I was buying Tom Brady and, Richard Seymour base cards. I wasn't buying LeBron James rookies and patches like some of the kids nowadays are getting. Yeah, I mean, he's always been a big deal in the state of Ohio. So, real quick, next question. This is a good one. I would love Lou's opinion on this. I think this is a disrespectful question to Steph Curry, but I'll let you guys answer this. Joe's Card Check says, is Steph Curry the Derek Jeter of basketball?
No. That's a crazy question, guys.
What did you just Google? I want to know what did you just Google?
I googled Steph Curry career MVP votes.
So, okay,
Oh gosh.
I'm trying to figure out what you're using to shit on Derek Jeter.
I'm not going to shit on Derek Jeter, but that's a crazy question. Would you say that Steph Curry was the best player on any of his championship teams?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So then that's it. End of conversation.
Well, there's also 9 versus 5
True. Yeah.
What's 9 versus 5?
players.
9 guys on the field versus 5 on the court. I don't know. Like, how can you?
I have
you
no
guys don't
take.
believe
I have
that.
no
Yeah, you
take
don't
on it.
believe that.
No, my thing about Steph is that I actually think, there's all this argument when Kobe passed that Kobe should be the logo over Jerry West, blah, blah,
The
blah.
three.
To me, Steph Curry should be the new logo of the NBA.
He is I would say the personification of like when the NBA changed, right?
Yeah, he fundamentally changed the league, in my opinion. Which is crazy because I very, very much remember big ankle brace not going to make it, Steph Curry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what they got. That's why the dynasty happened. They got him for 4 years, $40 million. They
Something
got him
like
on. They got him for a bargain. I think that's what it was. Just 4 years, $40 million.
I mean, he was wearing robo bracelets.
Yeah, he had the Michael Porter Jr. going on for sure. Did you see the story about Bob Myers leaving the Warriors? Why would that guy leave the Warriors?
GM?
The guy who, president of basketball operations.
Put it all together.
I can't imagine a situation where that guy is just like going to a new team because number one, where's he going? And number two, why would you leave Steph Curry?
I think it's going to be a really interesting offseason in the NBA. I think some of these teams are going to have some moves.
You would think Draymond's out of there, right?
Draymond and Jordan Poole.
And maybe Clay.
They said they want Clay to take less money.
Actually, never mind. I take it back. After what I just heard about Bob Myers, about that, maybe Bob Myers should leave.
He doesn't want to deal.
I wouldn't want to deal with that either.
Draymond goes to LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100% wants both LeBron.
He'd be a great Knick, though.
He would. But I wouldn't deal with Yeah, he would. I wouldn't be able to hear him like just his affinity for LeBron and open affinity while they're competing to me would rub me the wrong way. Like if I was a Warriors fan, I would be super not thrilled. Although if I was a Warriors fan, I would have made mad money. It would have made mad money, been pumped because they won the championship, in which case I would have won mad money if I was a fan and my team won the championship, except they lose, so I lose money. But if I was a Warriors fan, I'd be annoyed with Draymond's antics.
Oh, yeah. I can't imagine they're not.
I'm annoyed in general with how NBA guys are with each other. Everyone likes each other too much. It's the worst.
But not everyone. Some don't.
But most of them are like pretty good friends.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The rare hatred
like
is when
Jimmy,
it's good.
Damian Lillard, even Steph, like they lose. He's not like all lovey-dovey. Like
that's what I want. I want you to not like each other.
Yeah, like when Luka and Devin Booker were having their little thing, that was great because there was some real animosity.
I'm not saying I want like the malice in the palace, but like I don't want you to like, Draymond and LeBron were like hugging and googling and like Cancun on 3. Like I don't want that.
Yeah. Aligned.
Any other questions?
Yeah, this is a funny one. Denver Collectibles said Nuggets in 6 or 7.
I got the Lakers in the finals, boys.
I have the Nuggets.
It's going to be a good series.
Both my finals teams are still left. Lou, who'd you pick?
I had the Lakers and the Celtics, I think.
Ty, you had Bucks and who?
What's Tatum going to do? Is he going to come out wearing Lakers Kobe colors again, or what?
Yikes! That's also a big red flag for him.
Yeah.
To me,
dude. If
Ezekiel Elliott, just wear the 8 in Celtics colors.
If Ezekiel Elliott came out wearing like a freaking Bianca Batuka like sweatband,
what did you just say?
Bianca Batuka was a running back for Michigan in the 90s who had like 4...
Oh, you did like an Ohio State thing. I thought you were doing a Cowboys thing. I was like, what's going on?
Bianca Batuka, I think it was like a running back from like the 90s, dominated Ohio State one year, like a Hassan Haskins, 5 touchdowns.
Who's your least favorite college opponent?
Michigan.
Not team.
Desmond Howard. The worst.
Going against Desmond Howard?
Just hearing him after and like his moments in life. Oh, hate that dude.
He gets on you forever. That's just the way it is.
Yeah,
mine's Mario Manningham.
Oh, he sucks too. Taylor Lewan, hated him. Ugh. Mike Hart. Shoelaces, Denard Robinson. Oh my gosh, my list is long. It would be substantial. But
who's the dude that did the spin move?
Braxton?
Your quarterback, yeah, Braxton. Braxton did us dirty, a decent.
Oh, dude, one of my favorite all-time videos. We've got to get this on the show. But there's a video of like Braxton going in on like, was it 4th and 3, 3rd and 3 from the goal line, and he stops on a dime. This dude like, and he just, oh man, it is one of my favorite This is what like made me fall in love with Braxton. He's by far my biggest Ohio State PC. Watch this dude's clip against Penn State. It is one of my favorites.
He was an early like big client for Vayner Sports at the time when he came in the league. I
literally have that picture on my IG as him and Gary, because that was right when I got into Gary's content.
I had to like host him. It was absolute pain. And the second I saw him, I told him, I was like, I just need you to know I hate you. And he just clowned me in my face.
See, that's how I feel also about little Trace McSorley.
Trace was a good player.
He would do that.
Yeah, bro.
Hated it. Like punt this dude.
He was a good player.
Hey, speaking of, I said little dude, and I put little hands up. Oh yeah, shout out to Jay for putting this in the chat, man.
Oh,
Gosh, this is
geez.
electric. Have you guys seen this? Electric. This play. Jay, please put this in video. So if you're listening, you can watch it in video. Oh my goodness, watch that dude miss. Oh, electric.
Is the whiteout the most overrated thing in college sports?
No.
Do
It's
they
got to
ever win a big game?
It's got to be one of the top 3 sporting events for college football of the year. And I hate Penn State.
Bro,
And I can't wait to
the
go.
whiteout. First
Aren't
off, the
they
whiteout
all-time
invented. The
under
whiteout
500?
was the first.
That would be the number one game I would want to go to, and all of college football is Ohio State, Penn State, and a whiteout. I want to be there in red.
Lou, if you're asking, does the whiteout, do they typically win games during the whiteout? Well, I would say that historically they're like 8 to 12 point underdogs in those games.
They're 10-8 overall in whiteout games.
And they're historically pretty big underdogs. But environment-wise, there's
top
nothing.
tier.
There's nothing that can compare.
Environment is top tier for sure.
Yeah, electric factory.
It's against
Speaking-
Iowa this year.
Man, another transition.
Well, they learned their lesson because they have all these ranked losses in a row.
Hold on. Ryan was doing something.
No, you said electric factory. I was just transitioning to the
You
national.
said Electric Factory.
I did, but it is an electric factory. But the national. You know what's crazy? Is it's 72 days away. By the time this episode goes live, it'll be 70 days.
I gotta
That's
book a
wild.
flight. I gotta do a whole thing.
Ryan, how are you feeling as you get closer to the potential?
Yeah, I think it is worth noting that it is not 100% certain that I will be there.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is 100. I don't think it's 100% certain. Obviously, it is something we've talked about for a while. I wasn't anticipating this being a big part of the show today, but I think it is worth noting
But you did bring it up on your own.
as we get closer. I always love Lou's little subtle jazz. They just sticks them in there right when
I
you
didn't
need 'em.
think we were gonna talk about this today as I bring it up.
Yeah, it wasn't what I anticipated talking about. I did bring it up for sure. That's on me. Hand up. But yeah, life may happen, and depending on when little CC3 or CC2, whatever we're calling him at this point, because we don't have a name. Absolutely impossible to pick a child's name, by the way. Yeah, depending on when he decides to show up, I guess we'll determine when or if I'm at the national.
I think you should name the baby Lou.
Lewis.
Sure.
Did you do any Mother's Day? Like, how do you approach Mother's Day?
In the lead up. That's actually an interesting question.
What do you mean?
Like, was it like mother to be, or it was like mother?
No, it was more
currently,
it was more like we went to brunch with my mom and dad and brother and my wife. They got her a little something, and like we got her stuff, but it was like more for the nursery type thing. But yeah, it was more like mom to like human dogs. Because, like, I think the first Mother's Day actual mom is more important. I don't want to go off on a big tangent on this. Like, this is card talk. Not,
but like for you, were you like, oh, I got my mother, and that was still focused? Or you like, you're a mother, or like you're soon to be a mother?
Yeah, it's more like when a baby's here, then it's Mom's Day, and then it's really, really important. So, like, you don't want to like celebrate too early.
Yeah.
Right.
Respect.
So, yeah, just a lot beforehand. Obviously, like that. My priorities will change here really, really soon. It's kind of crazy. Reg and I talk about it quite a bit, but I've been to the National every year since 2009. I have not missed one. In 14, this will be I think I've been to 14, 9, 10. I think I counted. I think it's 14 in a row. This will be the 15th National in a row I've been to. And it may not be this year. So we'll see. Still may end up sending the team. Trying to get space now. Like, this is something like, for different reasons, we didn't spend a lot of time on it. Like, this was always a possibility. Like, I'm not going to get into too much in like personal stuff or like the business, but we didn't really spend a lot of time like preparing for it. And then it was like, okay, it's here. Are we going to set up? Like, are they going to set up? Like, what's the plan? So hard to believe it's already the middle of May and it's 72 days away. But yeah, I'll know more.
Wait, sorry, finish what you were saying.
I would say I'll know more as it gets closer. Obviously, would love to be there and do some card talk events and hang out with you guys for a day, but we'll see.
Wembanyama with his first ever signed card, and it is inscribed Victor. It's his autograph. Says first card I ever signed on the inscription. That's a chase card, boys.
Where's
on
the
the
picture?
Bowman U on Ruben's Instagram. That's a chase card, boys.
That card will sell for a lot of money.
A ton of money.
Damn, Ruben.
Victor Wembanyama has 1.3 million Instagram followers.
Never set foot in the NBA yet.
So here's something. So Michael Rubin just posted on his Instagram 12 minutes ago on Monday at 5:45. I may be feeling small today, but this card Wemby has in his hand is pretty big. Swipe and let me know how much you think it'll be worth.
Here's
And
what I was talking about.
it's Ruben and Victor Wembanyama in the first pick. And then the second pick is Ruben, Wembanyama, and Mike Mahan, who is the CEO of Collectibles Division?
I think so.
He's the guy running Collectibles. Tops and Bowman cards are in it. And then you got Wembanyama in a single image holding his card, smiling. She's in pretty good, looks happy, looks pumped about where this is all going. And that inscription is on the of 99 card, not on the Superfractor or
Still probably a 5-figure
one of
card.
No, I actually kind of like it. I think it's kind of adds a little juice to.
It could be numbered to 1 million. I think if it says first card I've ever signed, and it's the first card he
Of
literally
course,
ever
of
signed.
course, of
It'll sell
course.
for a
It's
insane
cool
amount of
because also when you're breaking, people will see the of 99 and then be like, "Ooh, is it that of 99?"
Every
Versus
single
if
of 99 you see will be a bigger deal.
Is it? Yeah, it's a nice play.
That's crazy.
Dope.
All right. Some good questions. Nationals 72 days away.
I got a pack.
Lou's going to pack. Flawless basketball this week. A real quick one. Crown Royal basketball comes out this week. I think that'll actually be relatively good. You got gold kabooms in there. And obviously kabooms are a big chase. I think it's the first time in a minute they've had gold kabooms in basketball. I think that'll do a lot. There's Zion, Chet.
The LeBron is
LeBron's
yeah.
when he broke the record.
Mm-hmm. That's the photo they used, which is pretty cool.
So that's a big release. Obviously, again, flawless. You've got Bowman University Inception is set again according to Blowout release calendar. Bowman Inception University is set to come out this week. That would have Wembanyama cards. That would have Caitlin Clark autos if that comes out.
And
Got
Drew Aller.
Andrew Aller. Drew Aller's got Bowman autos. Leaf Art of Hockey, Flawless Basketball, Topps Chrome Tennis. Yeah.
We mentioned Topps Chrome Tennis checklist is a little weak, to be frank. Yeah.
Why is it weak?
Tiafoe's the biggest current name on there. I like a little Pete Sampras chase, but it's good to get it out. I'm excited as a tennis fan. But you don't got Alcaraz, you don't got Tsitsipas, you don't got Holger Rune, and there's probably 3 or 4 other names that I'm not pulling off the top of my head that could be in there. I didn't see any major women's. There's some legends that are in it. But I'm not sure if we'll see. What I don't know on that, and now I'm just going on a tangent, is like, because it's 2021, do they lock up people for the 2021? And then are they not backdating? Like in the last 8 months, would they have signed someone and been like, you're in the 2021 product, or do they get that going for the future? Maybe they use this as a test bed and then they go fast follow in the 2022, use it to build some demand. Whatever. The Sampras 101 is dope in my opinion.
But I would still imagine, I would think of it no differently than I would think of like a Prism set chase where somebody will still want a LeBron or a Tom Brady or a Mahomes or a Curry numbered or parallel. So if there are stars in there or like all-time guys, like is Serena in there? Any Venus, like the Serena, I keep saying Serena or Venus sisters. Are the Williams sisters in there? Like Sampras and like
so.
any bigger names like McEnroe in there?
Tell you 1 second.
Agassi in there? Federer, Nadal?
Yeah, and then, like, I also wonder. So,
like if you have Red,
Sorry,
Lou, go ahead.
Michael Chang,
like Federer, Agassi,
no,
Nadal,
no,
Djokovic.
no.
Oh,
people are kind of down on him now, anyway. But like
Billie Jean
Tiafoe,
King,
that's $110
Rod Laver.
auto. the 2018 auto for Tiafo. So what is his Topps Chrome going to do? Something like that, I would imagine, right? Like, how much are the boxes?
I would imagine $150.
Cam Shriver.
So if Tiafo's the
Pete
best
Sampras,
auto you can get out of there, and the box is 150, that's tough.
Simona Halep.
I might rip some just to see what it's like.
Yeah, I agree, but it's bland. Boys.
There's Coco.
Martina
Is Coco a good deal?
Navratilova. Yeah. Coco and Tiafoe. Navratilova, Chris Evert, but like those are like old school peeps. Someone's gonna cook me and be like, "What about this person? They're the fourth ring."
Jay said that Net Pro is gonna have some pickleball cards soon too.
I like that. Just load up on Annalie Waters. She's like crazy legit.
Sounds like we got some good releases coming out. Some of those we talked about it with the.
Wait, there is Pete
Wembanyama
Sampras
stuff.
autos in here. That's a big deal.
Sampras. That's what I was saying.
Okay, sorry.
That's a big enough
a guy.
name.
Stan Smith?
Is Stanley Smith in there?
Yeah.
But again, they're like feels like a classics set.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just trying to be positive about it. Anyway, sorry, Ryan, wrap it up.
Yeah, no. Sounds like there's some good releases coming on here relatively soon. Obviously, big released this week with Flawless, the biggest product of the year for basketball. Triple Logoman chases. Excited for that. Topps Chrome tennis, Crown Royal basketball. Ruben, shout out to him for showing the Victor autos. Like, that's crazy. Like, we'll see. A lot of cool stuff ahead, though.
Signing off with a shout out to my boy Tosin, Tosin's Collectibles, Tosin Fulham, who's wrapping up an epic year. Also, what's on my mind? Officially, Man City is going to take the title, like right there. Arsenal let it out of their grasps. Tough scene for the Gunners fans. Man City's going for 3 in a row, 5 of the last 6 Premier League titles, and could lock up the Champions League.
They've won 5 of the last 6.
I believe they won 5 of the last 6.
Does that make them a dynasty? Question mark?
Yeah, they're kind of a dynasty.
But
they haven't won the Champions League, so people give them crap. But Tosin launched a big project called The Huddle that I want to give some love to and a shout out. Go check that out at Tosin Collectibles. And then my guy Esteban from Lost Files makes some really dope stuff. And I was talking to him, and they listen to Card Talk all the time in the warehouse while they're doing work. So I just want to give him some love.
Let's go.
For saying what up, and we're gonna do some stuff with 137 with them.
Shout out to Zipper. He's ready to move.
Yeah, I just wanted to give Zipper a chance to give his thoughts on the move. Zipper? No.
Fair.
All right. That's all I got, guys.
Peace and love.
See you guys.
See you, gang.